Looking out over the wide fields, my chest tightened. The earth was ripped apart, rows of corn trampled and flattened, the season's hard work gone in a single night. I couldn't just stand there. I immediately gathered my team and laid out a plan for the day. We would hunt, and we would bring peace back to this land. But in this battle, who will emerge the victor? Follow us on this brutal hunt and see for yourself. Just a few hours later, the team was already assembled at the edge of the field. We checked every rifle, every bullet, every signal device. Then, splitting into formation, we moved into our positions. Our eyes scanned the brush, the open patches of ground, the tree leans in the distance. Here, the prey could appear at any moment. Barely 10 minutes passed in our ambush. When it happened, a massive beast burst out of nowhere, charging straight toward us. Now, only meters away, I squeezed the trigger. The explosion shattered the silence, the bullet drilling straight into its forehead. It froze mid-stride, then collapsed with a bone-shaking thud that made the ground tremble. An opening like that, what do you think impressive enough? At the same time, from another blind, one of my teammates was silently watching. The tall grass ahead swayed oddly, a shadow hidden within. A dark head rose slowly, scanning the area. Deep breath, steady hands. The moment it stepped forward, bang, the shot cracked the still air. The bullet struck squarely between the eyes. The boar toppled into the grass, lifeless. After that takedown, we moved along a narrow trail that led to an open patch of dry earth. There, a lone boar was digging, completely oblivious that it had walked into our sights. I raised my rifle slowly, peered through the scope, and fired. The gunshot sounded like the seal on a sentence long decided. Another beast down. But was that the end of today's hunt? The moment we pulled up at the forest's edge, the hounds were already howling furiously up ahead. We leapt out of the truck and sprinted past bare stumps. There it was, an enormous boar thrashing by a narrow canal, trying desperately to leap across. Breath heavy, I raised my rifle. The instant it jumped, boom, my shot slammed into it, cutting its escape short. If the rest of its kind had witnessed that kill, they'd never dare to set foot in these fields again. Deeper in the woods, the faint rustle of leaves made us halt. My teammate raised his hand, stopped, rifles lifted, silence. Then, from the brush, a colossal boar emerged. It turned, ready to bolt. Too late. The shot hit home. The beast stumbled, then tumbled headlong down a cliff. But fate had other plans. Across the rocky ridge, a massive black figure hunched, digging furiously. Exhaustion forgotten, the team fell into position, moving with flawless rhythm. I pressed my cheek against the stock, slowed my breath, and squeezed. Boom! The shot thundered across the cliffs. The beast jolted, its legs slipping off the edge, before the entire hulking body rolled down into the abyss below. The hunt ended there, in the whistling wind of the cliffs, in the acrid scent of gunpowder lingering on our hands. The monsters that had ravaged these fields and forests lay silent. The land, once more, was safe. Every step of our hunt followed the rules and laws of this region.
Under the scorching sun of New South Wales, Tom arrives at Aunt Selena's small house for a rest, only to find himself swept up in an unexpected wild boar hunt. Here, wild boars are not just a danger to humans and livestock but also the #1 enemy of the fertile fields. So, alongside Aunt Selena's neighbors, he joins a thrilling hunting expedition to protect the crops for the local farmers. At the crack of dawn, Tom hops into the truck with local farmers, heading straight for the fields. Early morning is when the wild boars wreak the most havoc. Right away, they drive after the boars, which scatter in a frenzy. With the help of a pack of skilled hunting dogs, no boar can escape. From the sorghum field, a dog caught a wild boar, causing it to let out piercing squeals. This field had been the most heavily ravaged by wild boars, with large swathes of sorghum flattened, resulting in immense losses. Not stopping there, the vehicle continued toward a field being tilled. The farmers here said their planting season was about to begin, so the wild boar population needed to be quickly reduced, otherwise, farming would be extremely challenging. While searching, Tom spotted a black wild boar darting past him. Immediately, he and his dogs gave chase. At a suitable distance, he finally took the shot. A perfect hit, the boar was brought down instantly. While searching, Tom spotted a black wild boar darting past him. Immediately, he and his dogs gave chase. At a suitable distance, he finally took the shot. A perfect hit, the boar was brought down instantly. The hunt for wild boars continues, as many are still hiding in these fields. Noticing the dogs chasing a boar, Tom quickly accelerates to follow. Fantastic! The dogs have caught another wild boar. The boars here aren't too large, weighing around 15 to 20 kg with mottled fur, yet they're remarkably agile. The group is thrilled, and amid the sounds of the boars, they eagerly cheer on the dogs. Right after, the team pursues more boars. The noises from the boar herd, mixed with the dogs barking, heighten the excitement in the air. Under the blazing sun, the farmers' determination doesn't waver. They strive to capture as many boars as possible. Afterward, they continue tracking other boar herds. However, it takes quite a while to spot them again. From a distance, the boars hear the commotion and start to flee. The dogs relentlessly scour the bushes and grassy patches. Eventually, they discover the dogs have caught a small, mottled boar. From the fields to the bushes and tall grass, the pack of dogs operated at full capacity, relentlessly catching wild boars without tiring. Truly, in this area, the dogs were the ultimate weapons in helping eliminate the wild boars. After taking down a good number of wild boars, the group decided to head home to rest and prepare for future hunts. They knew the wild boars would continue to breed and cause more damage. This posed a significant challenge for farmers and the government in finding sustainable solutions to control the wild boar population.
Wild boars, creatures once thought to lurk only in deep forests, have now invaded the plains, causing unimaginable damage. They not only destroy crops, but also leave villagers living in fear as night falls. Faced with this crisis, what will farmers and hunters do to reclaim peace? Join us in a heart-pounding pursuit where the line between man and beast is drawn by a single gunshot. First, join us as we step into the chilly night of rural America, where giant wild boars exploit the cover of darkness to ravage fields and livestock pens. Guns, thermal binoculars, infrared lights. Everything has been meticulously prepared for a heart-pounding hunt under the moonlight. We drove for about an hour to reach the hunting area. The silence was eerie and unsettling. From a distance, a herd of beasts was quietly tearing through a cornfield. I quickly raised my rifle, locked onto the target, and pulled the trigger. The gunshot shattered the night's silence. One boar was hit and collapsed to the ground. The rest scattered in panic, fleeing in all directions. Not missing the opportunity, we decided to track down the surviving boars. A target was spotted. Swiftly raising my rifle, I pulled the trigger. The sharp crack of the bullet echoed through the silent night. One beast collapsed, motionless on the cold grass. The night hunt concluded with victory for the seasoned hunters. After a tense night, the first light of dawn dispelled the darkness. Seizing the moment, we swiftly moved up the mountain for a daytime hunt, where the prey roams actively under the radiant sunlight. Join us as we continue this thrilling pursuit of the beasts. Silently weaving through dense bushes, a dark shadow suddenly darted out in front of me. Reacting in a split second, I raised my rifle and fired. The blast echoed through the mountains and forest. The beast struck squarely in its midsection. It collapsed onto the dry ground, thrashing briefly before gradually losing its ability to resist. The gunshot shattered the silence, sending the surrounding wild boars into chaos. The frantic barking of hunting dogs signaled the presence of other prey. As expected, a group of wild boars was hiding, hoping to evade my rifle. Without hesitation, I swiftly raised my gun and locked on the target. A clean shot rang out, and the lead boar was hit, collapsing in the middle of the forest without making a sound. As we descended the mountain, we encountered stray boars from the herd busily foraging. Aiming from a distance, I fired a single shot at the target. It collapsed and lay still instantly. The remaining boar fled in panic, leaving behind an eerily silent scene. The daytime hunt concluded with the giant beast herd as the Today's journey of night and day hunting has come to a close. From the silent darkness to the radiant daylight, each moment brought its own challenges. But with seamless coordination and precise shots, we emerged victorious. Everything was conducted in legal areas and in compliance with regulations.
Matthew received an invitation to join a hunting trip this weekend in a rural area of Spain. This is a traditional wild boar hunting competition, held annually to protect fields from the ever-lurking, destructive herds. Determined to eliminate these pests, Matthew and his group of hunters are ready to set out. Let's hit the road. Accompanied by fierce hunting dogs, the group ventures straight into the rugged mountains. The terrain here is harsh, with jagged rocks interspersed with low shrubs, but visibility remains clear enough for them to scan their surroundings. Just minutes after arriving at the location, Robert Sanchez, a sharp-eyed teammate, spots a wild boar lurking in the bushes. Without hesitation, he fires and takes down the first boar with a shot so precise it's astonishing, despite the whistling wind. The pack of hunting dogs immediately scatters, scouring every nook and cranny for the herd. Their relentless barking echoes through the forest, signaling to their masters that more targets are near. Another boar comes into Robert's sights, but this time, his first shot misses. He quickly adjusts, and with the second shot, the boar is subdued. The group presses on to the mountain's highest point, where the dogs continue their fervent search. From a drone hovering above, Matthew spots a massive boar hiding among dense bushes. As the dogs flush it out of cover, the group fires in unison, bringing down the prey with little difficulty. Wild boars here are so abundant that they boldly invade farms and fields in search of food, becoming a nightmare for local farmers. When a gigantic boar bolts in panic across the mountainside, Matthew takes aim. His first shot misses, but with the second, he drops the boar instantly, a perfectly placed, satisfying shot. Tracking the wild boars charging across the mountainside, the group doesn't hesitate, firing several shots with determination to claim more trophies. The booming gunfire blends with the dogs barking, making the hunt increasingly dramatic and intense. A shaggy-coated boar briefly appears before them, weaving through dense bushes, seemingly aware of the imminent danger. The pack of dogs instantly detects it and gives chase, hot on its heels. As the boar emerges on the opposite slope, Matthew decides not to miss the opportunity despite the considerable distance. A shot rings out, but unfortunately, it misses the mark. The boar continues to bolt down the trail, growing fiercer by the moment. By instinct, it might flee, but when threatened, it turns to charge the dogs. When it reaches an open spot, Matthew seizes the moment, swiftly aiming and dropping the prey instantly. The wild boar hunting competition continues with unrelenting tension. Across the mountains, other hunters are also scouring the terrain, and many boars have already been taken down. It's the only way for locals to protect their fields from the boar's destruction. In an unexpected moment, a bold boar charges into a lake and swims to the opposite shore, momentarily throwing the dogs off, but soon, they leap into the water and resume the pursuit, refusing to let the prey slip away. The hunt now transforms into a high-stakes race, with everyone eager to claim victory by bagging the most prey. The excitement and tension have never been greater. From a distance, Matthew spots a massive wild boar charging through a small stream. Despite its robust frame, it moves with agility and caution, weaving through dense bushes. With only a fleeting moment to act, Matthew doesn't hesitate and fires. The bullet strikes the boar's flank, leaving it no chance to escape. Wild boars here often move alone, unlike the herds Matthew has hunted elsewhere. Perhaps the relentless pursuit by the hunting dogs has spooked them, forcing them to split from the group. This makes the challenge even tougher, heightening the thrill and excitement of the hunting competition. Another ill-fated boar falls into the trap set by the pack of dogs. These four-legged warriors are true heroes of the fields, fearlessly charging at the massive prey. The boar struggles desperately to break free from the encirclement, but its efforts are futile. In a flash, the hunters swiftly finish off the prey, marking yet another victory in this gripping journey. The hunt continues with the unwavering enthusiasm of the hunting dogs. The group quickly selects advantageous positions for an ambush, ready to wait for the panicked herd of boars to pass by. When the moment arrives, Matthew only needs to raise his rifle, aim directly at the target, and fire with precision. Incredible! A massive wild boar is brought down after a few shots. As the afternoon fades, with sunlight still stretching across the mountain peaks, the hunt draws to a close. The hunters assist each other in collecting their trophies, the wild boars they've taken down. The atmosphere buzzes with excitement. Everyone is satisfied, not only with the number of boars hunted but also because they've helped protect local agriculture from these destructive pests.